You're watching the iWahine talk show. This is episode number 4. I'm Awhimai Reynolds, founder of iWahine, and each week I share with you powerful messages and interviews that will leave you inspired and ready to go get your Mana Wahine on. Wahine are changing the world. We are redefining leadership, changing the way we do business, and tapping into our feminine power. Before I get started with our guest today, I'd like to remind you about our iWahine Leadership Hui on the 25th and 26th of October here in Wellington. The early bird special is still on and goes until the end of this month, so you want to get in quick. So go to the www.iwahine.nz/leadership to register, and you can also download a copy of the program. It's going to be fabulous. So let's get on with our show. I have with me today a visionary guide who teaches people how to have a healthy spiritual lifestyle in the physical world. Her business is called Maui Mu. He wahine a tāhua no Ngāti Parau me Ngāti Hine, no mai haere mai kia Gaylene. Kia ora, Gaylene. How are you
today? Tēnā koe Awhimai. What a beautiful kōrero. Thank you very much for giving me this wonderful opportunity to come into your sacred zone and also to whānau zone to share my mahi.
Oh, awesome. Well, talking about your mahi, why don't you tell us how you got started? You know, what's your story? How and why you got started in your business?
Okay, well, that could be a long story, so I've simplified it over the days. First of all, a very blessed acknowledgement to Io and our tipuna, and definitely also my whānau and my friends who have jostled their way along on my journey and have been so patient and have been giving me that unconditional love to get to where I am, including yourself, to where I am today. So where did my journey start? I suppose we've all started, when something great happens or something very dramatic happens in our life. And for me, it was when I was given a pohatu from one of my cousin's husbands on Betane, and it was a pohatu from Mauna Hikurangi. Oh. And of course, at that time, I was well into being a matikite, or in my first learning steps of learning the matikite language and how to understand visions and everything. So I immediately took this pohatu. Yes, I am supposed to take it back to Mauna Hikurangi. I was living in, my husband and I and our children were living in Perth at that time, and so the pohatu went out and we went home with it tucked nicely into my suitcase. Later on, I began having visions, and one of the greatest visions that I did have was as I meditated with this pohatu, was being on Mauna Hikurangi, which would direct me to a lot of journeys with our wonderful wahine maunga. And it was about watching Nukutai Memeha, Maui Waka, come out of the lake at the top. Oh. It was very, the noise of knowledge was just as loud as anything. And it took me a while to, compose myself and not want to go out of the, out of the vision. So, excuse me. Anyway, beg your pardon. What happened was, it was so large that my little hand, I wanted to put, touch the waka, our sacred waka, and it could only fit in the little crevices, just the tiny crevices of this carved waka. So I thought, oh, there's something going on, and I decided that the pohatu were telling me it's time to take it home. Oh. So at that time, I went, my uncle and I, God bless him, went to see an Aboriginal tohunga. He was of Nunga, Whakapapa, over in Perth, and he blessed it by putting it into gum leaves and, playing the didgeridoo and said, because we weren't sure at that time why these things were happening, he said it will smoke the spirit, the wairua of the pohatu to find its way home. Wow. So it was quite amazing to see. Here there was, this culture, and then we were going into the Aboriginal culture, and they were combining. And at the end of it, he actually gave me 2 pohatu of the dream time. And he said, you need to take this back. And because we're apologising, the pohatu had come out. And yet, again, not understanding its meaning. So the journey continued. I decided to take on my way to take the pohatu back to Hikurangi, as I thought this was it. I did scare half the neighbourhood I was so excited about the story. I will tell you that other whānau did not want to come anywhere near me because they thought I'd done something wrong. I had whānau here that were telling me, we can't meet you at the airport. Oh no, this is not right. So it was a huge Indiana Jones journey. And then Wairua stepped in. And my whānau from Passed On decided, having seen them all the time, decided that I needed some guidance to come home. So they were directing me as to where to go. So all my guidance from then on became from the Wairua side.
Nice.
And I continued my journey catching a plane, not planning, just catching the plane and arriving with, pohatu in tow. And coming through customs, and all I could think of was, oh my gosh, what if they take it off me? And at that point, that was when my faith in our tipuna and in our wairua, the way we're brought up, began to take a stronghold. And the journey continued all the way to Gisborne. And my cousin came to pick me up, and he was a little bit terrified. And he said, "Cuz, what about this pohatu?" And I says, "It's not bad. It's a wonderful thing." And he says, "Oh, that's good. We were going to throw it over the neighbour's fence and pick it up in the morning." And I thought, oh, nice. That's totally Indigenous of you. So no buses. I went up on the bread and paper courier. I just listened to Wairua, listened to all the tipuna telling me where to go. I had to find the kaumātua or the tohunga who these pohatu would go to. I got there. My auntie, my beloved auntie, who has passed away last year, she just sat there so serene and just asked me to tell her the story because she knew what to do. However, my other cousins and my uncles, they were like, a little bit shaken. Anyway, I did get to see the kaumātua, the tohunga, and I did get to know where to place my pohatu. And no, it wasn't me taking the pohatu home. It was the pohatu taking me home.
Oh,
and I then took my place amongst our kaitiaki kaiarahi of Maui, and the journey has since continued. Now, coming to the present moment, all the tools that I have been shown, I have decided that, I've been doing this for a while now, that I wanted to help other wahine and tāne, use their tools just like everyone else is doing in this generation, in this new world, and share things. And how I'm going to do it is healthy spiritual mentoring, so that no matter what business you are in, you can use these tools, you can see these visions, you will know this language to suit your dream, your moimoia, to action your moimoia, and really to get to know yourself and become the real you, the organic, real spiritual you. And so that's how my business started, from a story long ago of Maui, and also the most sacred kaiarahi that I am just humbly thankful that I have is kaiarahi Maui.
Nice. So what I'm hearing is that you've been involved in the spiritual world for a while. You have been
for a long while
in Perth, practicing being a spiritual guide. But you have been not necessarily focused from a Māori perspective, but you've been connecting with other Indigenous cultures, and then you got called to come back home and to reconnect with the spiritual guides back home. That's what I'm hearing. Is that correct?
Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's to put it in a spiritual nutshell. Yes, the
And
calling
you are
comes.
a spiritual mentor and coach. I quite like that. That's good because you're helping people to discover the tools that they have within themselves to tap in or to reignite something that's
Aye.
spiritual.
It's already and it's such a it's such a wonderful thing when you're using all of your potential instead of some of your potential. It's a marvelous way, and I must say that and it can be quite a private thing too. So not everyone will go to will go to a kura or will want to be in a crowd. So it's either going to be individual one-on-one, or I usually go into groups as well. But everyone's journey is special. So and it's so handy to have your kayako on the spiritual side.
Awesome.
And this is another thing, yes.
So you talked about working with people one-on-one and also in groups. Do you want to tell people exactly what sort of services and products you offer as a spiritual guide, as a spiritual mentor and coach?
Okay, it's along the lines. It is along the lines of life coaching, but there is a fine strand that can divide you from physically coaching, life coaching, to spiritually life coaching, because you're waking, you're helping, and you're supporting the person who's coming to see you wake up and know what their spiritual kaupapa is all about. And that takes time. It's not an overnight fix it. I've had people sit in front of me and watch them change immediately, only to say to me they want to come back, and I go, well, actually you need to go on your own trail. I've got things to do and that. So, and this is the first reaction you'll get. So what I have got is a set of tools so that you can reconnect your pūmana, the 9 gates of Maui, or the chakras as you call them. The pūmana, you go through the 9 gates to bring yourself into balance. You can go on vision quests, so and if they are necessary and you have done your homework, you have done most of your mahi yourself and you just need to go on a vision quest. Also, there are cards. You can a set of 12, which I usually use 12 because I'm under that 12 number of energy. And they're like your reading cards or your angel cards, and you can keep them in your purse or your bag or your wallet. I've got man cards and gorgeous girl cards. So I'm processing the Maui Mu cards as well. And they're really just tools to help you decide on that day and that present moment that you come upon a glitch like we all do, and you just want to pull a card out. Nice. And you just want another answer or another clue for you to help yourself. Those are the cards.
Pull a card out, say, whenever you feel the urge, maybe you want to start your day off and you think,
exactly.
I'll pull out a card and just see,
guidance?
Yeah, some guidance for the day. Or even during the day, you may have come across something, I don't know, a challenge, and maybe you want your card. Maybe it might provide some more guidance about the challenge.
Exactly. Maybe you want to go into another room and give yourself a balancing because you've got a big meeting on and you want to feel calm and that. So I've dealt with CEOs who have come up to me and, sort of given me a little wee nudge. Can I have a balancing before I go in? I've balanced, I've been gone into rugby league players in clubs. So
So it's preparing yourself a little bit like a karakia, or a bit like, even you talk about preparing yourself. I mean, that's what the haka does for some, like for the All Blacks and stuff. But is it more like a karakia or a bit more?
The karakia is part of it.
Sorry?
The karakia is part of it. There is a journey, there is a small journey in which you partake yourself and you prepare your energy for whatever you are coming up with during the day.
Sounds
and
like
it is
a great way to start the day off, Gaylene. Sounds like.
Always. I always start the day off because it's pretty hectic not in a good or bad way. It's just going to be that sort of a day, or it's really to keep yourself in the now. The most important thing of doing this mentoring is keeping yourself in the present time, so that you're not stressing about something next week or something last year. It's just keeping yourself in the present time. It's not, I haven't discovered the wheel of magic, because it is all over the world. It's happening all over the world. However, I'm coming from the collectiveness of the Mu energy, of Maui energy.
Nice. You have done something for me, and my phone broke, so I lost it. But I did used to use it every morning when I walked. Actually, I used to listen to it just to prepare me for the day. It was great. It was really great. So, who do you help exactly? Is it you help one-on-one? You help businesses, individuals, groups?
Oh my gosh, everyone, whoever makes that choice, there is no set community. If I'm drawn to, like I worked with the Hindu community, so I need to go in and meditate and collect all their knowledge, and that I can understand the energy I'm working with. Same with the Aboriginal, which I worked with the Aboriginal people as well. You don't get the whole lot because you're not there walking that path. What you are walking is you've been invited to walk on their journey, on their spiritual journey. So you do need to have that information so that you can help them resonate and calm and help them work on themselves. So it's everyone in the community. Catholic priests, we're Catholic priests, so there's religions and faiths and that, and you have to enjoy it.
So it's whoever is looking or seeking spiritual guidance. So how do people find out about you, Gaylene?
Most of the time it was by word of mouth.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, Kaiarahi Maui says that I talk enough for the both of us. So I talk, and I love telling my stories, and then also the customers or the clients I like to call them whānau, really, that have come to me. They've gone away and they've spoken to somebody else, and I don't know if that saying is still the top of the saying for advertising, but they say by word of mouth is actually the first part of tops the advertising. So I'm not sure if that's changed.
Oh, no, I think it's the same, except what's different, I would say, is that you now have social media. Really, like, that's word of mouth. If people talk about you on social media, can actually go viral. So it's probably more critical at the moment. So in your business, you've and I know Maui Mu Collective is relatively new, but you've been in the business of spiritual guidance for 25 years.
About 25 years, yes.
Yeah, what has been your biggest success as a business?
As a business?
Yeah.
It has been getting to know, and it hasn't been money. I've got to be honest. It hasn't been money. It's actually been the amount of whānau that I've gotten to know, and the amount of knowledge that I have gained from getting to know people that have come to see me about other cultures, about my own culture. So the success really would be about the knowledge that I have gained through other people.
So it sounds like to me that there's like an exchange. It's not just one way. It's not just you providing a service. Oh
heavens, no.
You also benefit hugely from what you get to know or understand about that individual or that culture. That sounds really awesome.
Well, everything's a two-way thing, whether you're in spiritualism or you're in anything else, because it is a two-way thing. You are interacting with someone else, so it has to be a two-way thing. Sometimes it's great and it just comes back with these fantastic results, and then other times it's like, oh my gosh, why did that happen and everything. So you've got to have that balance of positivity and negativity. It's not going to go away, but you do, over the years, you do become disciplined at what you wish to take on and how to maintain that balance as well.
Have you got a success story that you can share with us? Something that's really made a difference in someone's life?
Well, I do have. I remember when I was in Perth, this particular story is the one that's coming to heart. And she was in her 70s. She was my oldest client, and she came from home, and she was brought up in the time of, she's Tainui, and she was brought up in the time of the Kingite movement. Would that be right? Is it Kingite movement? Kingi movement?
Just the Kingitanga, yeah.
Oh, yes, and I thought she said Kingite. Anyway, she came to me, God bless her, and because she was afraid, you know, her friends and her whānau were passing away, and she wanted to know if this was sort of making her a little bit, you know, mamai. So she came for several blessings, and she used to tell me off because I wouldn't take her money, her pūtea, and so we had an understanding, so we would go through this every time she came. At the end of the series, the time she came, every time she had a balancing, she would be like a child, and she would just lie on the healing table. But I would get from her, she would give me stories.
Nice.
And these were stories of, you know, of our tipuna, and you could not put any money value on that.
Nice.
This was, Kuia was giving this knowledge. So to me, that to me is valuable.
Oh,
that's priceless.
Yeah.
And it helps me.
Yes.
You know, it puts that energy onto me, which is being humble.
Yes. Can you tell me, how do you actually deliver your services? Is it always one-on-one in person, or do you do Skype sessions? How do you reach people? Because not everybody can travel to you wherever you are. I mean,
exactly.
Whereabouts are you located? People know.
I'm located in Pornicky, or in Wellington.
Yeah.
And it's on Skype at the moment because we've just been back from Perth for 3 years.
Yeah.
And so I prefer to do the Skype. However, there, you know, if you are local and that, sometimes I meet clients in town in the coffee shop. Apparently that's a trendy way to do things at the moment, is you meet somebody in the coffee shop.
Yeah, that's how I do a lot of my business.
Well, it's actually a plus. It's actually a plus in one way, because I get to read their coffee for them, or their tea.
Yes.
And they totally enjoy that. Yeah. You know, that's my husband loves that all the time, you know, having coffee read. And you can have exercise messages even simply by reading coffee. There is a really spiritual healthiness about getting an exercise from your coffee read and that. Yeah. But mostly at the moment on Skype.
Nice. So what has been your biggest challenge? Because some people, I know how some people think about, you know, being in the spiritual world and business. For some people, they just can't, they don't think the two can mix. I think it can, but let's hear from you. What has been the biggest challenge in terms of operating in a business that focuses on spiritual things, on the unseen? So what has been challenging?
You are right. It is, and I'm in that little glass bowl. I am with who, you know, what am I going to charge and what's going to happen? Because when I see somebody suffering, or that, you know, the moment, I'm going to save that person, or I'm going to help tautoko them, you know. So now I'm in that. It's about finding that balance with pūtea as well, because there are some that you can actually get, you know, you can help, and you know they can help other ways. But like I said to you before, this is the new journey. Maui Mu Collective. It is going to be, there is an important portion of that to do with pūtea, that there will be a charge, but at the end of the day, it will be more balanced. And so yes, it's about charging and how to charge, and you know, things like that. So I'm looking forward to that.
And money is an exchange.
It is
an exchange of value, and it's not necessarily about greed. It's about recognizing value, but it also enables you to continue to do the work that you do and to be able to help and reach more people. So I think people need to reframe how they think about money. It's not necessarily evil. And we're not saying charge millions. We're saying charge a reasonable amount that acknowledges the value that you are giving others and enables you to continue to do the great work that you do. So that's
it does. It is.
So can I ask you, Gaylene, you've been, like we keep saying, 25 years in this business, and you tell me it's your main business. So if you had to start again, if you had to start a business again, what would you do differently?
Well, I don't believe in starting again. I believe my philosophy is that you keep going. And
you've had this time to reflect. Okay, you've started. You should start again, but if you could start again, this is about reflection on your journey. What would you do different?
Well, I would, because I've gathered the knowledge I have of, being there, and that's just to talk about putia, talk about money, because I've gathered that knowledge and that. And so the next is to move forward. And what I would do is, or what I am doing, is just, I know this sounds really soft, but just in my heart and my passion is just keep going. And because you don't know everything that's going to come around the corner, but my focus is that everything comes around the corner will be positive, will be about growth, will be about going out of comfort zones, will be about definitely helping, not helping, supporting other people, supporting people in their dream as well.
Awesome. So what advice would you give to other wahine Māori who are interested into going into business similar to yours?
Listen to yourself. Listen to your loyalty, to your wairua, and also make sure your EO business is in place. EO CEO, wairua manager, hinengaro your supervisor, your kaimahi your body. So keep your kaimahi healthy. Nice. And make sure your wairua, your manager, gives your hinengaro the right direction. Nice. And from that, of course, bring it all together with your EO light. It happens, it works, that's why we're here, that's why wahine are getting stronger and stronger. So be loyal to yourself and keep your dream intact. Don't follow your dream, be your dream.
Oh, I like that. Don't follow your dream, be your dream. I love that.
Well, we're saying, I've heard follow your dream, and I just kept hearing it. I'm going, if I follow my dream,
yeah.
Does that mean I'm actually walking my dream now, or does it mean my hand is out all the time, or, I'm constantly walking towards my dream? So be your dream.
I like that.
And be happy that you're doing it. I tell you what, I'd like to do something like a stand-up comedy for one night, but in spiritualism. And I'd like to tell everyone how funny I've had so many laughs, so many tears, but so many laughs about, what's happened when you believe, when you believe things and people are just making their way into their spiritual path and they're not there yet, and you're just, you're telling them these things and they're just looking at you like a crazy person.
That sounds fabulous. I like that concept. I wonder if we could do something online and invite people to come along.
That would be good.
Yeah,
that would be good, because, you will hear some funny stories. I thought I knew everything, and I went to my first seminar many years ago, and my friend and I looked at each other and started laughing amongst our tears because, we've just cleansed or we've just released and everything like that, and we started laughing. We were just beginning. No. That was it. We were just waking up, and it wasn't bad or it wasn't good. It was hard work. Very much hard work. But now the energy around, the energy all around now, because everyone's doing it, their wairua mahi, what they're doing it now is that it's becoming lighter. So these are the golden opportunities for everyone.
Well, why don't you and I think about something? I don't know what the regularity is. A monthly something, or a fortnightly, or a weekly. I don't know. Let's talk about something later on after the show about something we can do that people can come along online, so they don't have to. Not everyone lives in Wellington, so
that would be quite good to see you on your funny side.
So, what are you working on at the moment in your business?
At the moment, I'm working on the news stories. I've been having kōrero with Maui and now a navigator kupe. And apparently I got very frustrated and asked them why they were giving me all this knowledge, the old knowledge and the new. What am I going to do with it? And already the stories have been coming in, not in a rapid rate, not in a rapid sort of momentum, just in a nice rhythmic one, so I don't get too excited, because then I just blah blah. I don't actually do anything about it. So that will be coming up. Teaching individuals about how to make their own cards.
Oh, that's cool. That sounds like a workshop we could do.
Yeah, yeah. Tuning in to your own mana, and you already have the program there. You already are potentially universally, talented. So if I can make cards, I know everyone else can.
So, but have you got cards available for those that don't want to make cards yet? They want to use or actually do cards?
I did. All my cards sold out apparently. So what I'm going to do is I'm getting some new. I know that sounds unprepared, but I'm getting some new ones made up. And because I'm in my early stages of learning Te Reo Māori, I would like to do Maui Mu in Pākehā as well as Māori as well.
That sounds
because
awesome.
The Te Reo has definitely a different, different rhythm, different energy.
Absolutely.
And that. So there's all about that, and everyone you can read your own cup of coffee and your own cup of tea. That can be done as well.
Awesome. Sounds looking forward to that. I mean, even when your cards are ready, it'd be great for you to let us know. And I like the idea of having them in Te Reo Māori as well as English. I think that caters for everybody. So, it sounds really exciting what you're doing, Gaylene.
It is. I like every little new idea. I actually, my husband is my bouncy board, so he gets to have a taste first. And him being Irish Catholic Kiwi, it's sort of like, it's a good bouncy board, because he comes from a different way doing his way to work. So he gets to experience it. But it's, I can see the wahine magic happening, and it's getting bigger and it's getting better and brighter. And yes, definitely, there's definitely some magic on the way.
Are you able to do a little something? I'll put you on the spot here. I'm just thinking, and look, tell me if it's no. But, I was thinking about how, I don't know if people are aware that on Friday we tried to do this show live, as I normally do at 11 o'clock, and we just had all sorts of problems which I had never had in the past. So I'm thinking, is that a tohu? Are we being told something? So I'd like to hear your whakaaro on that, Gaylene.
Look, you're so onto it, because I want to tell you the story and whānau the story, because this is why it didn't work beforehand.
Okay.
So I get husband to drop me off for a very long walk around Evans Bay. So he drops me off at Evans Bay. Now, the wind was howling last night, and my husband says, "Did you hear the wind last night?" And I went, "No, I didn't hear a thing." So usually when I don't hear a thing, I'm gone. I'm out there. And everyone will know, those who are doing their spiritual work will know what out there is about. So he drops me off. Now, I haven't done this hikoi, doing this walk for a while. And away I go, very right into it. The waves are rolling, Papaho is just blowing like anything. Tangaroa is just like over the rails. And no, I'm going to do this. So I start walking, but there is a favourite small karakia I love doing, ko io, ko au, ko au, ko io, just to get myself in my io self. So I'm busy walking in a slant, got my hands like this. And then they came on the water, our tipuna. It was magical. It was, I could see Papaho. I've had this before with them when I'm not focused. And there was tangaro. I couldn't see Hene Moana, but I could see tangaro. And I thought, oh heck. And then there was ngake, I'm pretty sure it's ngake, and whataito, the taniwha for this area. And they were just talking, and the wind, Papaho, was just blowing, and I'm going, give it to me, because I thought they're putting this as a challenge.
Bring it on, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Bring it on. I'm ready. They've done this to me before, and they're laughing, and they're, throwing the taiaha around on the water, and I'm going for it, and I'm telling you, I'm like this. So 1 hour later, I come around the last bend, and that's where you don't actually get the wind as much as you get the wind. And this is from being soaked. I was soaked. It splashed in my face. I had all the elements happening, and I just opened my heart to them, and everything calmed. And then they did the haka. And all I could hear was, I'm walking this way, and I can see them behind me, and they were talking, and they said, she's ready. And I said, I can hear you, I can hear you talking. And they laughed. And then Wahine Waka came in to the harbour. Now, Wahine Waka, or Waka Wahine, is all our wahine throughout thousands of years.
Wow.
This is a very special waka. And the younger tipuna, they are all wahine, all around the bottom. They do the rowing. The older ones, there's another one, they stand in the middle. They do the more tete. And then the older ones, they just stand there. And they have korowai on and that. And it's been a long time since I'd seen them. As I'm telling my husband, he said, you haven't seen them for a long time. I said, I know. What have I been doing? And then the karanga come out. And when you hear the karanga from Wahine Waka, there's your soul rattles, but it doesn't rattle in a bad way. It just sort of like sways. The rattle's probably not the word. And I realised why it didn't work the other day.
Oh, why? I can't wait to hear.
Because they were telling me, this Maui Mu Collective, know where your energy's coming from. See, I never went there first. I never went to Wairua, to bring them in. So they decided that they were going to smack me around a wee bit in a nice way to acknowledge, who's with you on the Wairua side. And I thought of us then, and I realised that's why it didn't work. Because, we get educated in a lot of things in this world. And this ancientness of the moon, it was long forgotten, and it's coming back. And if I don't acknowledge it simply by having a business, a small business, and simply by not acknowledging you as my Mu sister, hello, my business is not going to happen. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the story, is that first of all, I went to the source, and the source came and got me, and then moved me around a bit, and then said, this is how it is. This is the tikanga. Go to your Wairua first.
Thank you, Gaylene, and actually coming through you to me to remind me before I start these shows to go through a preparation, whatever it is, karakia. Maybe that's something we should have done before.
Fine.
Instead, I was focusing on getting all the technical things right, because my previous shows had numerous technical problems. I thought this time it's going to be all smooth, but no, I started at the wrong place. Aye. Me too. Reminder to myself on where to start. So this is beautiful, actually, really beautiful. And, you know, in the end, I just gave up. I just surrendered.
Surrendered, yeah.
I said it's just not meant to be.
Oh, you and me both. I knew then, especially as I was telling you, the 3 tui.
Yeah.
3 big fat tui outside on the bush, you know, just eating the berries, looking at me, and I'm, kia ora, sister. And I'm going, can you calm me down, please? Oh, you want a waiata? And, you know, bit of a chuckle, because they knew what was going on, the manu. And I go, oh, yes, please. So they're eating, and then they're singing, and then they're eating. And I thought, oh, they already know why this is happening, not me. You know, I didn't know. And then when today, I'm very, very blessed. We're all very blessed to know, you know, that's an old strand. And the moose strand is an ancient strand. So just learning to drive it as well, which is, you know, is a bit of a taking my learner's permit on the mūwaka.
And remembering, I mean, this is our point of difference from other businesses. As Wahine, as Māori, we have these things that we can tap into that sometimes, and I just talk about myself, I forget about. But sometimes you take it for granted, sometimes you forget about it, you just operate in the physical world. So here's a wonderful example of how your business can help us remember and reactivate those memories that have been...
how to do it. Exactly, yes. Exactly.
So that was a great example, wasn't it?
And yes, I do a reactivation of the DNA cells, and that's another story. That, you know, going to leave some little bits that can be a little bit of a surprise. I don't want to ruin the surprise for people, but yes, we've indeed had a wonderful journey about this, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And you know, I really do think you and I need to do something where we can help people to prepare for whatever they need to prepare for. We can have a session on something. And that's something that we'll talk about, you and I, and then maybe later. So anything else? You got any? We're going to wind up now, Gaylene. So is there any message or anything you want to leave people who are watching this today?
I have an email which is Inaina Dreams, and you put that on the pānui, Inaina Dreams @gmail.com.
So that's how they can get hold of you? They
can get hold, and if it is your first time, you get half an hour free, because not everyone has the same reason for coming to see me as well. So, you know, and you have to have that spiritual taste to see if that kapu tea is going to suit you, or that kapu coffee is going to suit you. So, you know, there is a half an hour and your first time, so that you know what you want, or it may not work for you. Oh no, it's all right, I'm okay. And that's Kate Pie.
So it's a half an hour whakawhanangatanga, just to see who you are, where you come from, if there is a connection there.
Exactly.
So it's inainadreams@gmail.com. And you also have a Facebook, Gaylene.
I have a
Facebook page.
There's a Facebook, and that's Maui Mu Collective. Yep. And I put, I channel messages from Wairua, and I put little messages on there, and their energy from either Anahera or, you know, the masters, ascended masters, passed on whānau. Our passed on whānau always come in and want to put their little message in as well. So, and I'm a turtle with sneakers on. So the pace... The pace is not, and there's a lot of us out there, the pace might not seem fast as far as technology, but as far as spirituality, we don't have time. We just do.
I love it. I love it. Oh, kia ora koutou. That was Gaylene Sheehan. Thank you very much for watching us today. Wasn't it wonderful, that kōrero? I like it again. I'm just going to remind people, I love that. What do? You are a visionary guide who teaches people how to have a healthy spiritual lifestyle in the physical world. Don't you just love it? Thank you, everyone. Ka kite.